Hello,
I was
hello,
like
here
jumping
we are.
in the background. I was like waiting for the live to go out.
We are here today and we are talking about the absolute stress reliever and terms and conditions that can relieve stress when putting in a purchase contract or accepting one when you're selling a home in Alberta.
That's right. And it's freezing, so I'm looking forward to warm up to this cocktail. I brought my street style because we're putting some secret ingredient. Badass secret
I know.
ingredient.
So this one for me is pushing every boundary. I'm going to be honest with you because
It will be okay.
I know it's pushing every
It's
boundary.
totally legal. You bought it in the store, right?
I know. So this one's actually kind of cool because it actually has real CBD oil in it, which today I visited my first cannabis store, so that was exciting.
Yeah. Well, you're like, oh my God, what's happening here?
Well, the guy was very nice and he came out and helped me, and that was lovely because I said I need CBD oil. He's like, with or without THC? I'm like, without any drugs. I don't want any drugs in it.
And then he will ask you, do you want it to have, is it for sleeping or anxiety or back pain? And you're like, I don't know, it's for the cocktail.
Exactly, it's for a drink.
What about me if it's a cocktail?
So anyway, so we are here and let's get started on this cocktail because it is a pretty interesting cocktail. I'm curious to try it. Like I said,
it does look pretty.
It does look pretty, but it does push every boundary on my what I do. So here we are. We're going to start with our coconut rum, which is very simple. 1.5 ounces.
There's like way more ingredients in the book than in your iPad.
Well, I only have 4 lines.
Oh no, hold on. You're supposed to mix rum with the CBD.
You're right.
Remember, I did that same thing.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Hold on. So we're going to put it in the upside down part.
Yeah.
And then the CBD that I bought, which has no THC in it, you just take it sideways and you're going to put in 1 milliliter. So this is...
And isn't it so cute? It comes with its like your own like, whatever, what do you call that thing?
Yeah. So then you do that and you stir that. So can you stir that for me? She's going to stir the coconut rum and the CBD oil.
With a pineapple leaf. We're keeping it like super earthy today.
Exactly.
Like botanical, not organic, but as organic as it gets. Oh, oops. Oh, dear man. It mixed really nice. Yeah, it's actually mixed really nice with rum.
And then now we are putting in the
vodka.
vodka.
Peach schnapps, vodka.
And our vodka, of course, is from Park.
Yeah,
is Park
we
vodka.
love supporting local.
And Canadian now.
And Canadian.
And Canadian.
Albertan.
Albertan.
Yeah, and then we do an ounce of pineapple juice, an ounce of cranberry, and an ounce of orange juice.
That's right.
So I feel like it's going to be tropical again.
Yeah, I think so too. So after you do all this and you put all this into the shaker, you take your peach schnapps and your CBD oil and you dump that into your shaker before you go.
You mean rum?
Rum, sorry. So it's all in the shaker.
Okay, I like really need to recommend today because I'm super cold. Like, woo! And it's going to get tropical in here.
There we go.
Yeah.
So now into just a regular kind of rocks glass, nothing fancy. Into the regular rocks glass with your garnish of orange or lemon, and you can do a pineapple wedge. We did a pineapple leaf.
Yeah, Robin got fancy blood oranges, dried blood oranges, and we got a pineapple leaf. And look how pretty that color, like a tequila sunrise.
It does kind of look like a tequila sunrise.
Cheers.
All right. Here we go. My big test of CBD oil, which I've never taken before in my life.
Happy February.
Happy February. And I did verify with my husband before we did this that it was not drugs.
Oh my God. This is delicious.
This is delicious.
This is like fruit punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, dangerous. 100%. But you know what? It's probably like by the pool, you're relaxing, you're relieving your stress, maybe meditating. Great drink.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh,
it tastes very, very good. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you can make it without the CBD oil.
Yeah, I think, you cannot taste anything of CBD. And sometimes they do come...
Yeah, it says you can get it flavored. I did not get it flavored.
Yeah, like you can get them flavored. Sometimes you can get them a little bit more of like grassy, like a strong hemp taste to it too. But
It says if you take up to 4 hours to take up to 4 hours. Oh, it can take up to 4 hours to feel the full effects
of
from
relaxation.
eating and drinking cannabis.
Yeah. I mean, technically,
What time is it? Noon?
it's gonna hit you hard. Well, technically, they don't recommend to mix alcohol with the THC. I know
Well, that's
that.
not THC. That's cannabis.
But this
no
is like
THC.
because yeah, I don't know how. Isn't it like alcohol's a downer, and then you take the CBD?
I don't
We
know.
will tell. We you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna write feedback how we're gonna feel through the rest of the day, because we both had a very trying week so far.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but yeah, in 4 hours we'll like do another video.
And that's like, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna call you and say, Robin J filling it in. But yeah, we'll see how that feels. Maybe
But
we're
my
gonna be
husband
very
did
relaxed.
say CBD oil is not a drug because I asked.
Well, yeah. I mean, it does have healing qualities. Of yeah,
I'm gonna be all paranoid all day now.
it's gonna go opposite way.
Anyways, let's talk about terms and conditions that relieve stress.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, like I got new clients right now. We're looking at the condo purchase. Lots of stress there because they have no idea like what that means to buy a condo. A lot of questions, and it's like, how do you protect your client? How do you protect? Well, this has happened, that happened, right? Sometimes people like their answer to everything that you guys may feel like, especially when you're new to something. If you have a question, I go ahead and ask. But we generally pretty good in terms of, as we start the process, we talk about to expect from the process, what the things you will need. We do the budget because obviously due diligence sometimes costs money. So there is a lot of things, but basically if you have a question, we probably most like 99.9% already had an experience with that and we can answer it.
Now, the big thing we have to understand or explain to you is that there is a difference between a term and a condition. Now, a term is actually a part of a contract. So a clause of a contract that even if it's not fulfilled, the contract continues to proceed on. And then in order to resolve the breach of the term, you actually have to go to small claims court to resolve it. So you can still purchase a property with a term not being fulfilled. But a condition is something that's put into a contract that says, I will not buy this house unless. And then you actually have to take an action to remove that condition. And that's signing another document saying, I've satisfied this condition. So terms contracts can continue on with a term that's been breached. But if you haven't fulfilled a condition, the contract does not continue on. And if you don't make an effort to sign something saying that you fulfilled that condition, are you putting more CBD oil in it?
God, no, I'm just like, I figured like the drink looks so pretty. I want to take a photo before we like drink it and for social media.
So if you have a condition and you haven't actually completed the condition or signed a document saying you've completed the condition, then your contract can actually not continue and may not be able to continue without that. So remember that when you're looking at terms and conditions in your contracts. Conditions, this has to happen for me to buy. Term, it can happen, but if it doesn't happen, I'm willing to go through small claims court to resolve it and still purchase the house.
That's right. The part of the conditions, what's great about it, right? Like we put it, like, you know, for majority of real estate transactions, there could be anything that is important to you, but it always has the deadline. So there's a time and date that we have to complete those conditions. So it's not open. Depending on the complexity of it, it could be from like a kind of a couple days to a month. It depends what we buy and how much inspections we require to do, diligence we have to require to do on some of those deals. But it gives you a chance, basically, not only to get those things sorted out, but also for the seller to cooperate with you to get those things done.
Absolutely. Now, the big thing is when you're writing terms or conditions is clarity. You want to use simple, plain language, and you want to write the term in such a way or the condition in such a way that it should be reasonable for anyone to look at that term or condition without having any of the other dialogue going on and know what you're trying to say. So what I always do is when I write terms and conditions, I say, look, if a judge got this without talking to either party in this contract, could they have the same interpretation of what we're trying to do? And that's what matters. You have to be able to look at your term and condition and say, an independent third party without having any communication with us would come to the exact same conclusion if they were to read these words.
Yeah. And of course, everything has to be done, all of it's supposed to have to be compliant with Real Estate Act and legal, right? So we can't put the conditions that's completely, potentially could be illegal or damaging to the property or the people that live in there. Sometimes certain conditions like inspections can be more invasive. And you have to have like a special permission for it. You can just go and start opening up the walls. Of course, the initial deposit that we always give upon acceptance of the offer that kind of keeps like a place to you, right? This is your place now. We accept your offer. We got the initial
deposit of good faith. Yeah, it's a deposit of good faith.
Good faith. The great part of it, and it's important to understand your contract, you're giving a deposit upon conditions that everything's going to be great. And once you remove those conditions, that deposit transfers to the lawyers. And at that point, it's non-refundable. But if a certain condition do fail, don't go through, you get the deposit back. And it's very important to understand that also deposit will be part of the money of down payment that you're putting on a place. And it's not just gonna go into somebody's pocket.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you also have to remember the enforceability. When you're writing terms or you're writing conditions, using the word may you can't use soft language. You have to use very definitive,
yes,
very clear and concise language. So you have to say shall and must, not may, because may means they have a choice. You also have to make sure that the way you're writing it is not subjective. So a lot of times you'll see when people are writing in, let's say, a term saying that the buyer must or the seller must clean the home, and then they'll say to the buyer's satisfaction. Well, clean is subjective. So it has to be a clear, measurable outcome that can be actually measured and quantified. So although I will tell you, cleaning clauses are the worst clauses ever. Please don't ever put a cleaning clause into your contract, because the reality of it is clean is subjective. You can say professionally cleaned and all that other kind of stuff, and you can say provide receipts, but at the end of the day, you as a buyer don't have control if their clean met your standard, because your standard is not a universal standard. It is subjective.
So I'll tell you why the reason I still put them in and how I do it.
I hate them.
Yeah, I don't like them when I'm on the other side. But when I represent the buyer, here's my thought. If I don't put it, then it doesn't lose completely, they can grab their luggage and leave. This way they at least maybe sweep the floors and wipe the counter. But you have to make sure, I have a conversation with my buyer. I was like, this is a subjective clause. It doesn't mean it's gonna be exactly how you want it, but it's probably gonna be better if they just didn't do anything at all.
True.
And it just, at least it gives you a head start if you decide to clean a little bit even more, right?
Absolutely.
So
now, when you're looking at conditions and terms, you actually have to think about risk allocation. So you have to think about, when I say risk allocation, you have to say, who is at risk if the term or condition isn't fulfilled? So is it the buyer's responsibility? Is it the seller's responsibility? Who's responsible if it's not completed? And these are the important things. You also have to talk about ramifications if it's not completed, especially in terms. So terms is usually where this comes in more.
Yes.
So you have to say, look, if it's not completed, my lawyer is going to hold back blah amount of money, and then they're going to give it to me because you didn't do your job, because that's what's going to stop you from having to go to small claims court when terms are not completed in a contract. Is you have to have those basically accountability clauses into that contract to say, look, you didn't do what you said you're going to do. Now, this is the outcome. And they do that a lot in the purchase contract, in the standard clauses. If you don't do this, this is the outcome. If you don't do this, this is the outcome.
We got so much better in terms now.
Yeah, we do.
That we, in a 20-year span, I remember how the first, what it looked like and what I write now, it's like day and night. One thing I also do in the term, I also, if you guys decide, like, need to get something done, don't put possession day. Because by the time possession day comes, it's almost too late to deal with that issue. So it has to, if it's very complex, I say a week before possession day, and then I have my client to have double walkthrough. The one walkthrough to make sure this thing is done, whatever it needs to be done, and the second one is actual that pre-possession walkthrough, 24 to maybe 48 hours, but usually it's 24, depending on the days. But that makes sure that basically the thing is done before the possession, before your money has been gone from one lawyer to another.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is always good too, because the lawyers are usually pretty good at calling and saying, hey, we call them holdback clauses.
Yes.
So if you hear the term, that's what it is. And the lawyers will call us and say, hey, there's a holdback clause in there. Was this done?
Yes.
Do you have confirmation it was done? So they know if they're making the holdback or not.
And they do ask for permission. You don't just say, oh yeah, that's all done. So we send them pictures, we send them receipts, we send them like emails,
Absolutely.
whatever that is, that it's always been sent to the lawyer. So they attach it to the file. And if it's not done, then they're ready to deal with a holdback on the day of possession.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you my favorite clauses, and then Anna's going to tell you her favorite clauses to put in contracts.
Put me on the spot.
I know. So my favorite clauses are obviously allowing for multiple, so 2 times for them to go through the property prior to possession, 1 time to be for a walkthrough, and another
Access
time
to the
Yeah, so you actually have to write
property,
in access.
Yes.
There's no handshake deals anymore in real estate. There used to be in the old days, back in 23, 27 years ago.
Yes.
We used to do these handshake deals. We don't do those anymore. So 2 times to come into the property, 1 time for a walkthrough, and then 1 time for any other reason, as long as they give 24 hours notice. And again, when we're dealing with Airbnbs, it has to be within the vacancy of the property. I also personally love putting in if there is work that has to be done at the seller's expense by the seller, professionally done with receipts and a holdback. Okay. And then the holdback be refunded or be released to the buyer if it's not done upon possession.
That's right.
So those are probably my 2 favorite. The cleaning clause is my least favorite clause, and I will talk all my clients out of the cleaning clause because it's just not a fight worth having. Clean your own house with your own cleaner so you can yell at them and make them come back if it's not to your standard and make them clean again.
Well, I think the question is not about the favorite part, but what we actually put 100% of the time. So what you have mentioned is basically 100% of the time we're doing the walkthrough. So for the walkthrough, the way I identify, I like that, I do one for sure, but it depends. Like as you said on the property, if that needs to be done, depends how much time went between the closing of the deal and the possession. Because if it's 60-day or 90-day possession, sometimes people really forget, or they're like, oh, we don't need anything, we'll be fine. And then they remember that they need to buy new furniture.
Yeah.
And then they need to measure something. And then you're like, please let us in. And sometimes they don't let you back in. So for that reason, if it's a loan possession, I just put 1 extra in for walkthrough or access to the premises, just in case they decide to pick the paint colors or measure for the furniture. That's kind of one of my thoughts. As I said, for cleaning clauses, depends on the market. But I always say, if the place will need some cleaning and it's you've seen it on your walkthrough or visiting a property, as I said, I tell the clients, hey, if we put it there, at least something needs to be done. But you're not gonna be well, it's not done to my standards, because nobody's standards exactly the same. And as long as you understand that, it's gonna be better than nothing. And of course, for the cleaning, if you're doing the cleaning clause and decide to do it, then do it right. Make sure you include your carpets to be shampooed and appliances to be washed. And I put those as a separate thing. And if it's a big home and I know it needs a lot of cleaning, I actually attach a big number to it because I know how much cleaning costs. And I say, okay, this is how much the cleaner would charge you. And sometimes it's between $400 to $600.
Well, and here's the thing too, is from a seller's standpoint, this is what I always think is so funny with sellers and sellers agents, because they both do this, where they're like, we don't want those clauses in there, or we don't want the holdback that much. The holdback can be $1 million. If you're doing it, it doesn't matter the amount of the holdback. If you're not going to do it, then it matters.
Yeah, and that comes up. My biggest was, I guess it was a term. It was a home inspection, and we had to renegotiate on repairs of the certain items, and I had to itemize each thing that would cost to change, and it was 2 pages long.
Wow.
Yeah, that was probably the most complex term I had to, and the lawyer who was signing it, he's like, who's your realtor? I've never seen this before. But he said it was great because
it was specific.
My client, and that's kind of thing that we learned really how to do it in the last few months because we never have done it. We're like, get this done, and we'll $500.
Yeah.
Like now, I had basically home inspection report, and every item was specialized. What needs to be done, how it needs to be done, what page it's allocated, and how much it will be held back if that's not done and when it's paid.
Absolutely. And that again, that specificity is important.
Yeah.
But anyways,
yeah.
Prize time.
We have a fun day today. Fun day, February 5th.
Exactly.
It's the first Wednesday of February. We got our fortune wheel happening here, and it took me forever to get the names in because we had so many.
Now, I'm going to explain to you how you get your name on the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
You like or love us or share us on Facebook. You can do it on LinkedIn. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it on YouTube. You can do it on TikTok. You like, share, and love us on any one of those pages. Comment, anything like that. And your name will go into our Wheel of Fortune. So we are going to be giving away a super cool prize next month, but we're going to give away this prize this month faster, which is an Echo Pop. I like to call her my virtual assistant. I have two. I have one called Siri and another one called Alexa. Sometimes they fight, but most of the time they get along, and they are very efficient, and they do their jobs well.
I think I'm ready.
You can use it to do to-do lists, timers, anything. So here we go.
Ooh. And let's see.
Who do we have that's the winner?
Monica Day.
Monica! That's so exciting. Okay, we're going to have to send it out to Monica, but Monica, you're going to love it. I know she watches our show all the time and comments, so I'm super excited for
the
her.
biggest fan.
She is a great fan. So thank you, Monica. We're going to be sending that out to you. And next week, we're going to be talking and doing the ombre. Anna is doing it by herself, but she might be doing it with Michelle. We haven't solidified that yet.
Yes.
And we're talking about the blending of colors through design with sophistication. So that's actually going to be a really cool episode. But as of next month, we are giving away...
Yes. So I was looking at it because the recipe for the next will be like really cool. I wish I need to have a guest because the amount of work that goes into it and that needs to be shared.
Okay. So next month.
February, alcohol infusion kit.
Now, the reason why we're doing this is because it is a cold time of year. February, March, April starting to warm up. This is the perfect time to start infusing your alcohols. You get those kind of richer, deeper notes in your alcohols. You do in your scotches, your bourbons. This is the time of year you want to warm up. So infuse your alcohol, and we will be giving away this alcohol infusion kit at the end of February for you to start using it the month of March.
There's instructions in the back. It looks pretty serious. Maybe we should have opened it. Oh, it has, okay.
So I'm only laughing is because Anna always sees the gifts as soon as we start the show.
Yeah.
I have all the gifts at home.
12 ingredients, stainless ice cubes, accessories, crystal ball. Oh, wow, this is what you see here. Wow.
Everything you see on the front of the box is included.
I'm going to show this again because this is really,
She's going to want one now.
Oh, I do want one now. Look, see how you guys see everything on the photo there? The crystal jar and the glass and all the ingredients. That's all comes with it.
She always does that. She sees our gifts and she's like, oh my gosh, I want one. Yeah. So anyways,
how to
next
create
week,
a fake profile.
Please remember,
play with it.
Ombre is our drink. We're talking about colors and sophistication. So thank you. Please join us next week. And we do appreciate you being here. Remember to like, love, and share our show. And if you know anyone buying or selling a house in the next 6 to 12 months, have them call us. We'd love to give them advice, help them out in any way we can.
Understand their local market.
Exactly.
There's a lot.
And answer their questions without judgment, because it's super important that you make good quality decisions when you're spending this much money. It is a lot of money. I don't care if you're buying a $200,000 property or a $2 million property, come and ask for advice. We'd love to help you out. Call us at the number on the screen, or feel free to go to Robin Moser and Associates and talk to any one of the three of us.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Bye-bye.